Did you know that in Palestine, it's considered taboo to use your left hand for eating or greeting others? This intriguing social norm has deep roots within Palestinian society, and it's not just about politeness. The tradition of favoring the right hand over the left stems from ancient times, when the right hand was associated with honor and integrity, while the left hand was seen as unclean. This belief has been reinforced by religious teachings in Islam, which emphasize cleanliness and purity in all aspects of life. The right hand is used for most tasks, while the left is typically reserved for hygiene purposes. This cultural practice is so ingrained that using your left hand in public can draw surprised looks or even disapproval. In fact, it's not uncommon for parents to gently nudge their children's left hand away when they reach for food, steering them towards the right path. So, remember to extend the right hand if you ever find yourself dining in Palestine. Moving further into the heart of Palestinian customs, let's delve into some more traditional taboos. In a society where culture and tradition run deep, it's no surprise that there are certain unwritten rules that govern everyday life. Now, let's start with the institution of marriage. It's traditionally seen as a union not only between two people, but two families. Arranged marriages are common, and marrying outside one's faith or social class can be considered a taboo. It's not just about love, it's about preserving cultural heritage and maintaining social order. But change is afoot, with younger generations increasingly choosing their own partners based on love and compatibility. Next, we step into the arena of family honor, an aspect deeply ingrained in Palestinian society. It's tied to the behavior and actions of family members, particularly women. Any perceived deviation from societal norms can be seen as a stain on the family's honor. This concept, though, is evolving. With education and awareness, the notion of honor is being redefined to encompass respect for individual rights and personal freedom. Let's now turn our attention to gender roles. Men are traditionally seen as the breadwinners, while women are expected to manage the household. However, this is not a rigid framework. Palestinian women have been breaking barriers, venturing into various professions, and contributing to the economy. The definition of gender roles is therefore being rewritten, slowly but surely. As we traverse through the years, we see that these taboos are not set in stone. They are subject to change, influenced by education, exposure to other cultures, and the changing socio-economic landscape. However, the pace of this change varies, with some areas embracing it more readily than others. In essence, these taboos, deeply rooted in tradition, are a reflection of the society's values and beliefs. But as the world changes, so too do these customs and taboos, evolving to meet the needs of the present while still preserving the essence of the past. As we can see, tradition plays a significant role in shaping the taboos in Palestine. Religion, a cornerstone of Palestinian society, has a substantial influence on what's considered taboo. Now, let's delve deeper into this fascinating topic. In Palestine, the predominant religion is Islam. It plays a significant role in shaping societal norms, including those related to taboos. For instance, dietary restrictions are a clear example of religious influence on taboos. In accordance with Islamic teachings, certain foods and beverages, such as pork and alcohol, are considered haram or forbidden. Consumption of these items is not just discouraged, it's viewed as a violation of sacred principles, thus making it a societal taboo. Similarly, Islam's teachings on modesty have shaped the norms around clothing and public behavior in Palestine. Modesty is a virtue highly valued in the Islamic faith. It's not just about how one dresses, but also about one's conduct and respect for others. For example, revealing clothing is often considered inappropriate, especially for women. Furthermore, public displays of affection are generally frowned upon, seen as a breach of public decency and respect. But here's a twist. While these norms are influenced by religious teachings, they are not universally rigid. There's variation within the society itself. Some individuals and communities may adhere strictly to these norms, while others may adopt a more liberal approach. It's a spectrum, not a one-size-fits-all scenario. This variation, though, doesn't diminish the overall influence of religion on taboos in Palestinian society. Rather, it highlights the complexity and diversity within the society. It's a reminder that while religion provides a framework, interpretation and application of these teachings can vary, leading to a rich tapestry of societal norms and behaviors. In the end, it's important to remember that these taboos are not just arbitrary rules. They are deeply rooted in the religious and cultural fabric of the society. They reflect the values, beliefs, and traditions that the society holds dear. And while they may seem strange or restrictive to outsiders, they are integral to the identity and cohesion of the community. Religion, like tradition, has a powerful sway in shaping societal norms and taboos. So whether you're just curious or planning a visit, understanding these taboos can provide a fascinating insight into the heart and soul of Palestinian society. In the modern era, new taboos have arisen in Palestine, reflecting the changing society. Let's dive into the realm of politics first. Here, taboos aren't just about what is considered inappropriate or disrespectful. They often represent a minefield of potential conflict. Discussing political affiliations and opinions can be perceived as crossing a line, especially if those views challenge the status quo or disrupt societal harmony. This is not unique to Palestine, of course. Many societies around the world consider certain political discussions taboo, especially in mixed company. Next, we step into the digital world. The rise of social media has brought about a whole new set of taboos. In Palestine, as in many other regions, there's an unwritten code of conduct online. Oversharing personal information or posting controversial views can result in social ostracism. This can be particularly challenging for younger generations who navigate a world where much of their lives are lived online. It's a delicate balance of self-expression and societal expectations. But it's not just politics and social media that are seeing the emergence of modern taboos. The intersection of modernity and tradition also gives rise to new societal norms. For instance, while it's increasingly common for women to work outside the home in Palestine, certain professions remain male-dominated, and women entering these fields can face societal pushback. This is a classic example of a modern taboo where progress clashes with tradition. Similarly, as Palestine becomes more globally connected, the consumption of Western media and adoption of Western trends can become a point of contention. This is often viewed as a threat to cultural identity and heritage, creating a new taboo around cultural assimilation. In essence, these modern taboos are a reflection of a society in flux. They represent the tension between tradition and progress, between maintaining cultural identity and adapting to a changing world. They are the growing pains of a society grappling with its place in the modern world. As society changes, so do its taboos, reflecting the evolving values and concerns of the people. Some Palestinian taboos have managed to shock the international community. This is true, as there are certain practices and beliefs that have sparked debates and even controversies worldwide. Today, we'll delve into a few of these taboos that have left the world in a state of surprise and, at times, misunderstanding. Let's start with political expression. In Palestine, it's not uncommon for political expression to be viewed as a taboo, especially if it's seen as challenging the status quo. This has often led to international outcry, particularly from advocates of freedom of speech. Yet, it's important to understand the context. In a region fraught with political tension, such expression carries a weight that might be hard for outsiders to fully grasp. Next, we turn to gender equality, a topic that has sparked global conversations about human rights. Traditional Palestinian society operates within a framework of gender roles that may seem rigid to many in the West. This has led to misunderstandings and criticisms, especially regarding women's rights and freedoms. However, it's essential to remember that change is a gradual process influenced by cultural, societal, and historical factors. We must also mention the taboo surrounding the discussion of mental health in Palestine. This stigma, unfortunately, is not unique to Palestine, but is prevalent worldwide. The silence around mental health issues has drawn international attention and concern, prompting calls for more open conversations and improved healthcare services. But perhaps the most shocking taboo to some outsiders is the prohibition against certain types of music and dance, such as hip-hop or ballet. These art forms are often viewed as Western influences that could undermine traditional Palestinian culture. This restriction on artistic expression has surprised many around the globe, given the universal language of music and dance. These taboos, while shocking to some, are a part of the complex fabric of Palestinian society. They represent the interplay of tradition, religion, and modernity within a unique cultural context. It's crucial to approach them with an open mind and a respect for diversity, recognizing that our understanding of taboos is often shaped by our own cultural lens. Despite the persistence of taboos, there are efforts within Palestine to challenge and overcome them. The world is a dynamic place, and Palestine is no exception. Even as we are steeped in tradition, we are also constantly evolving, adapting, and striving to create societies that are inclusive, progressive, and respectful of individual freedoms. Take, for instance, the movement to challenge gender taboos. Women's rights organizations are springing up across the country, advocating for gender equality and empowering women to challenge the traditional roles that have been prescribed to them. They are encouraging women to step out of the shadows, to raise their voices, to take up space, and to reclaim their rightful place in society. And then there's the fight against stigmatization of mental health. For too long, mental health issues have been cloaked in shame and secrecy in Palestine. But now, mental health advocates are working tirelessly to break down these barriers, to educate the public about mental health, and to promote open and honest conversations. There are also movements to challenge religious taboos. Young people are leading the charge here, questioning age-old religious practices that no longer resonate with them, and advocating for a more open, inclusive, and tolerant interpretation of religion. Then there's the fight for LGBTQ+ rights. Despite the hostile environment, brave LGBTQ+ activists are daring to challenge the status quo, to demand respect, recognition, and equal rights. They are risking their lives to pave the way for a more accepting and inclusive Palestine. These movements may be small, they may be nascent, but they are powerful. They are challenging deeply ingrained beliefs, they are shaking the foundations of a traditional society, and they are forcing people to question, to rethink, and to change. These efforts are not without resistance. Change, after all, is uncomfortable. It is met with opposition, skepticism, and even hostility. But these brave individuals persist. They push forward, undeterred by the obstacles that stand in their way. Change is slow, but with every step forward, Palestine gets closer to overcoming its taboos. This journey may be long, it may be arduous, but it is a journey worth taking. For it is through these efforts that we create societies that are more understanding, more accepting, and ultimately, more human. In our journey through the taboos of Palestine, we've seen the influence of tradition, religion, and modernity. We've delved into the heart of a rich and complex society, where the old intertwines with the new, creating a cultural tapestry that is as fascinating as it is intricate. We started with a shocking fact that drew us into the world of Palestinian taboos. Then, we stepped back in time, exploring how traditional society has shaped the taboos that persist today. We saw how an older generation's wisdom and experiences have been passed down, becoming cultural norms that guide social interactions. Next, we moved on to the powerful influence of religion. We discovered how deeply embedded religious beliefs shape societal taboos, dictating what is considered acceptable and what is not. We learned that these religious taboos, while sometimes perceived as restrictive, are often seen as a moral compass guiding the community. Then, we ventured into the realm of modern taboos, those shaped by contemporary issues and global influences. We saw how the rise of technology, the spread of information, and the interaction with other cultures have brought about new taboos, showing us that societal norms are not static, but continually evolving. We also delved into the taboos that have shocked the world, those unique aspects of Palestinian culture that have sparked global intrigue. These taboos, while initially surprising, have offered us a window into the distinct cultural identity of Palestine. Finally, we explored how taboos are being overcome. We saw that through dialogue, education, and understanding, societal norms can change, allowing for growth and development while still respecting cultural heritage. In all this, we've seen the cultural richness and complexity of Palestine. Despite the existence of certain taboos, it's a society teeming with diversity, resilience, and a deep sense of identity. Remember, understanding a culture's taboos helps us understand its people's values, beliefs, and fears. And that's a step closer to understanding our shared humanity.